Welcome to Miss.sheeena's world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Who was a sex addict. Every time a cute guy would walk into the restaurant that we worked at, she would immediately hop on him. One night, she's working at the bar, and this one cute guy sits at the bar, and she's like, oh my god, he's so cute, I gotta go get his number. I'm like, cool girl, do what you gotta do, you know? So after a few minutes, she comes back, and she's like, do you want to go to the bar tonight? And I'm like, the bar? With who? She was like, well, the guy whose number I just got and his coworker. Now, these two guys were truck drivers. The guy that she was talking to, he was like our age, in our 20s. I was in my early 20s when this was happening. So he was like in his 20s. So I'm like, is his coworker, like, is he cute? Like, where he at? Because I don't see nobody else around our age sitting at the bar. She was like, oh, it's that guy right there. This dude was like in his late 50s, like early, I would say like 59, 60. I forget exactly how old he was, but his kids were older than me. He had two daughters older than me. I said, girl, I'm not going out to the bar with my grandpa. What the fuck is you on? She was like, please just go to the bar with me tonight. I don't really know them and they're not from the area. I'm just scared of going by myself. I'm like, yeah, that should tell you all you need to know. You shouldn't be going out. Like, hello? But anyway, little young Miss Nasha, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go with you. Fuck it. I'm not doing anything else tonight. So we got off of work. I went home, changed my clothes, and then she came and picked me up at my house. Now, mind you, I have a car, but I asked her to come pick me up because I didn't want to drive my car out there. She drove an older, like, hoopty, which is like, who cares, right? I don't judge nobody for what they're driving. So she comes pick me up, and we go to the first location. Bitch, the first bar we was at, I was entertaining this dude, but, like, I was so fucking bored. Because what do a 23 and a 59-year-old have in common? Not much. So we played a little bit of pool, we got some drink, and then we headed out to the second spot. But as we were leaving the first spot to head out to the second spot, she was like, can you please drive? I'm like, sure, are you okay? She was like, yeah, I just don't want them to see that this is my car. I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, I just hate my car. It's so ugly. It's so crusty. You just pretend it's your car. And she was like giving me her keys. She was like, hey, you just pretend it's your car, please. I told them it was your car. It's not my car. So you're embarrassed of your vehicle, and I'm supposed to pretend like it's mine? Luckily for me, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, okay, give me your keys. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what two random men that I don't care about have to say. Clearly she did though. So we're driving to the second location, which is like a bar that's like further out, like further away. And the older guy, he's like still buying me drinks and shit. I'm taking shots because at this point, I don't want to fucking be here. I might as well get free drinks out of you. And he's like talking to me about like, oh, you know, I'm looking for something serious and I want to settle down. I'm older now. My kids are all in college. And I'm looking at him like, why are you telling me this for? I'm 22, 23 years old. Like, I'm not going to settle down, especially not with a 59-year-old man. But like, he kept talking about like, yeah, like I make so much money truck driving and I'm about to retire soon. Like, I have a lot of money. I own businesses. I have 5 cars. You'll be set with me. Okay, I don't know who you've been fucking with, but I'm not that. So like, all I could do was just play it off because at this point, you don't know what the fuck these men are planning on doing. So I was like calm, cool, and collected until he tried to come like touch me. Soon as I felt him get close to me, I was like, no. He tried to like pull me in to like give me a kiss. I was like, no, absolutely the fuck not. So then my coworker gonna get mad at me because I'm ruining her chances to get with this other truck driver. I'm like, girl, I'm going home. Like, you either get in the car and drop me off at home, or I'm ordering an Uber and I'm leaving. And like, I didn't want to leave her at this bar with these 2 random men by herself. So I was telling her like, get in your car and drop me off at the house, please. Because I don't want to have to take an Uber and leave you here. So she did end up getting mad at me because like, I basically forced us to leave. But I made her like drive me home because, bitch, what the fuck do you have me out here doing? You trying to get in this man's pants because you're a sex addict and you got me out here with this geriatric old dude. He's trying to fucking kiss me. Are you good? Like, this bitch did not give a fuck what was happening between me and this old man. As long as she was able to get in this other man's pants, she did not give a fuck what was happening between me and him. Anyway, bitch, to make a long story not as long, she dropped me off at the house. She said she was gonna go home and go to sleep. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. This bitch is texting me. She's at the motel with the fucking truck driver. All right, bitch.
Y'all gotta be real careful with those male-censored females because they would treat their friends badly even if they're in a relationship to uplift another man. I remember one time this girl invited me to spend the night at her house because we were going to go do something the next day. But we had to, it required us to wake up mad early the next day. So she was just like, instead of you traveling all the way here and waking up super early, just spend the night here and then we'll leave in the morning. Cool. Now, at the time, she lived with her man, and I originally thought that I was gonna sleep on the couch. Like, I didn't have no question about it. I just assumed that I was gonna sleep on the couch. But when I got there was a little tension in the house. There was a little tension. Her man was already like, his bed was already made on the couch. So he was just like, oh, I made my bed on the couch so you girls can take the room. I said, okay, cool. What a gentleman. What a king. Allowing us to take the room because we're girls. Like, that's cool. Like, now I can change in private, do what I want, close doors. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have the privacy to sleep however the hell I want because, you know, you took the living room. I go in the room. The girl ended up closing the door. And she was just like, oh, we're not talking right now. Me and him is not talking right now. I'm like, oh, so what's the problem? She was just like, yeah, we just got into a big argument about the whole bed situation. She was like, no tea, no shade, Kalia, but I just feel like my man shouldn't feel like he has to give up the bed for anybody, and this is his house, so he shouldn't feel like he has to sleep on the couch. He should be able to sleep on the bed next to me. So I didn't even know how to respond. I didn't know what to say. Like, so do you want him to come sleep next to you? And she was like, no, he refused to sleep next to me because he's saying I'm being rude. I'm not being a good host. I hate the fact that you're making me agree with a man right now, sister, but it does sound kind of crazy because if it was my man, he would have gladly took the couch to let the girls have the room so we can have our little privacy because I am a guest in your home. He sleeps next to you every single night. What's one night? I kid you not. The tension was so high. I didn't even want to sleep there no more. Like, I ended up letting her, like, she fell asleep and I was still wide awake and I was about to leave the house. And he apologized to me on my way out and I just left. Like, I just didn't know what to say after that because what do you mean? What was the real issue here? What was the real? Y'all gotta be real careful with the girls who y'all gotta be.
Story time about how one of my male-centered friends lost everything she had behind a man. Just a little bit of background information. When we first became friends, I knew that she was male-centered, but it wasn't to the point where I felt like I had to stop being friends with her. You know how we all have friends who kind of just do dumb stuff when it comes to men? That's how I thought that she was. She also was a very big user of dating apps, and she would always meet men on dating apps and invite them back to her home where she lived alone. And to me, I always thought, like, girl, are you crazy? Like, that's not okay. So fast forward, we decide to go to a R&B concert that's at the State Farm Arena. After the concert, we decide to go from the arena to Midtown to have late night happy hour at STK. Everything's good at STK. We're eating, kikiing, having a fine time. I get up and I go to the bathroom, right? So I come back from the bathroom and she like, girl, why this man come up to me and start having a conversation with me? Girl, he was tall. He was 6'7". I said, well, oh, okay. I said, well, where is he, right? She said, oh, he was just getting carried out. I was like, dang, I missed him. I said, did you get his information? Did you get his number or anything? She like, nah, girl, we just was having a quick conversation. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So we continue to eat and finish up the rest of the night, right? Now, please keep this in mind for the story. I drove to her house where she lives in Lawrenceville. I parked my car there. We Ubered from her house to State Farm Arena for the concert because we didn't want to deal with parking and all of that. After the concert, the plan was for us to go back to her house and kind of have like a slumber party. So just chill, watch movies, talk, whatever. So we finish eating, and once we finish up, we walk outside of STK to catch our Uber, and 6'7", we gonna call him 6'7", 6'7" and his friend are outside. Now, the way that she had explained this encounter, I'm expecting to see some Adonis, y'all. I'm expecting to see this tall, just real good-looking man, right? When I seen him, I was like, now, he was in fact tall. Was he 6'7"? I don't know. When I seen him, girl, straight, I'm sorry, but he looks like a bum. He had on basketball shorts, like flip-flops, and a t-shirt. He didn't have no haircut. I'm like, this the man that you're talking about right now? So when I see him, I'm not impressed at all, right? But at that point, they see each other. He walks up to my friend and is kind of making small talk. Because mind you, we're waiting for our Uber. Or we hadn't ordered our Uber yet, but we were in the process of ordering our Uber. So 6'7" is with a friend, right? And so I'm kind of looking like, I said hi, of course, but I'm kind of looking like. So she's sitting here having conversation, like small talk with this man. And so while I'm waiting, I asked a friend to come snap some pictures of me in front of the STK sign. So he does that. He took some pictures of me, and then we had like little small talk conversation. By the time that happened, our Uber showed up for us to go back to her house. So now our Uber is here, and at this point, I guess my friend is 6'7", have exchanged numbers or social media or whatever. I say bye. We hop in the car. We going back to her house. Remember, I told you that we were in Midtown at STK. She lived in Lawrenceville, which is a good 40-minute drive. So we make it back to her house, and remember I told you that the plan was for us, I'm thinking the plan is for us to have a sleepover, kiki, watch movies, do whatever, and then I'll leave the next day. When we get back to her house, she tells me, oh yeah, I invited 6'7" and his friend back over here. I said, I'm sorry, what? You did what? Why? She like, oh, we're not going to be doing nothing really, you know what I'm saying? I just want to talk to them more, and we're not doing nothing else, so we might as well invite them over. First of all, we don't know these men from Adam. And while they did not look like threatening men, it's still extremely dangerous. Why would you invite men over that you don't even know to your home? You know what I'm saying? So me, I'm irritated about it, but I'm like, they didn't seem like they was super threatening. And me, I got my pew pew, so I'm like, even if they try something, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, nuck if you buck, for real. So they come over, it's cool, it's chill, whatever. We end up playing Uno, right, sitting at the table. And so we play a few games of Uno, and then we kind of break off into having our separate conversations. I'm talking to the friend about his job because he had a very intriguing, interesting job. So we start having conversation about that, and then I notice that my friend and 6'7" are no longer sitting at the table. So after talking to his friend, I'm like, wait a minute, let me go see where they at, just to make sure, like, ain't no funny business going on. So I go upstairs. Y'all, why are they both in her bed? He's in her bed with his outside clothes on, talking about, oh yeah, I'm just up here rubbing her feet, you know, giving her a massage and stuff. I'm like, you got him in the bed with his outside clothes on, and y'all just up here having a whole little good time, and you got him massaging your feet? Like, you don't even know this guy. What are you doing? So at this point, it's gotta be about 1:30. So I'm like, well, I'm about to wrap it up. I'm about to put my pajamas on and probably get in the bed. So yeah. So she like, yeah, it's time to wrap it up. And so I head back downstairs, and they follow me back downstairs to tell 6'7" and his friend goodnight. So we wrap everything up, we tell them goodnight, they leave, and we both go to bed. The next day we have breakfast, and we're kind of just recapping everything and just chit-chatting, right? And so I'm like, ask her, I'm like, so did you like him, or were you feeling him? Are you interested in him? She like, girl, no. She like, girl, I am going to block him. I don't like him at all. He is not my type. No. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I figured that he wouldn't be your type, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool, right? Never spoke nothing else of them. So fast forward a few months later, me and her go and we have dinner just to catch up and chit chat. So I bring it up like, oh yeah, have you talked to those guys from that night at the concert? She like, girl, no. She like, I blocked them and never talked to him. I was like, oh, okay, bet. Never, I'm thinking I'm never gonna hear from about them again. It's gonna get good, y'all, I promise. Please just stick through this with me. Okay, I'm back, y'all, for part 2. So after me and my friend had dinner, life started getting really, really difficult for her. Like, she lost her mom and her sister, like, within weeks of each other. And she was the person in the family that was in charge of everything. So she had to plan the funerals, and it was just a lot going on, right? And so, you know, me just as her friend on the outside looking in, I'm like, girl, you know, if you need anything, let me know. If there's anything I can do, if you just want to talk, like, whatever. Like, you know, I'm here for you. Our communication during this time was patchy, but I expected it to be like that because, you know, it was a lot going on in her life. So I wasn't, you know, I didn't feel no type of way that we were not talking that much. So once things with her family died down, I get this text message from her, and she like, yeah, I'm thinking about moving to Texas. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? She was born and raised in Georgia, and she was going through a lot within her life. And so I'm like, moving to Texas might be a fresh start. But things was moving super duper fast, y'all. Like, very weirdly fast. Like within the month, she had quit her job, sold all of her stuff in her townhome, put her house on the market. Like it was moving expeditiously. So I'm like, okay, you say you want to move to Texas, and literally a few weeks later, you done already sold all your stuff. But maybe, she was just that determined to get out of Georgia. So that's understandable. Long story short, y'all, this girl ended up completely ghosting me, right? So I would reach out to her like, hey, did how's everything going with the move? Did you need any help with the move? Have you sold all your stuff? Just trying to get updates like you would from a friend, right? Nothing from her. So after a few months go by and I don't hear nothing from her after she moved to Texas, I'm like, okay, maybe she moved to Texas and just wanted to completely start her life over, forget everybody that she knew in Georgia and whatever. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. So some months go by, y'all. This gotta be like 4 to 6 months later, right? After not hearing from her, I get this random text message and it's from her. She like, hey girl, so sorry that I went ghost. It's been so much going on. I really would love to talk to you. I really would love to catch up. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how's the move to Texas? Are you liking Texas? What's going on? Y'all, tell me why this girl moved to Texas with 6'7". When she called me and told me that she moved to Texas with 6'7", my mouth was on the floor. Because mind you, this is the same man that you told me months ago that you was never gonna speak to again, and now you done moved to Texas with him? I was flabbergasted. Not only did she move to Texas with 6'7", 6'7" was in the military, and I guess he was like had a disability or something where he wasn't working. He didn't have a job. Mind you, y'all, she was paying all of the bills. She paid all of their moving expenses. She paid to move 2 of her cars. She got a job. He did not have a job. So she telling me all of this, and I'm just, my mind is blown. I'm at a loss for words. I can't even talk. I'm just listening. She done moved with this man to Texas, and he did exactly what a man would have done. He started cheating on her. Hello. So she finds out that he starts cheating on her, right? Because apparently, obviously, they moved to Texas together. They became together in a relationship. I missed all of that, right? She didn't tell me. So he starts cheating on her. I mean, he's taking women on dates in her car, just moving real foul. Like, I think he was possibly had an STD. Like, it got real crazy. Like, he was losing his mind. So long story short, things between her and 6'7" go completely south. And I'm just like, you moved to Texas with a man that you told me that you was never gonna speak to again. I was just like, I can't even believe it. I was just like, how did this even happen? And so when you move to Texas, different states have different laws, and when you move to Texas, I believe you can't just break a lease. Like, you know how in some places, some states, you can like pay whatever, and then you can break your lease and just move out. In Texas, I believe you cannot break a lease without paying up the rent for however long the lease is. I'm not sure, but I forgot to tell y'all that in the midst of all of this, she also got fired from her job. Now she don't have a job. He doesn't have an income. She was paying all of the bills. She has pretty much depleted all of her savings, all of the money that she was getting from her job. Like, she has no money. She doesn't have any money to break the lease, and neither does he. So they're going back and forth trying to figure out what they're going to do, because at this point, she wants to move back to Georgia, right? But 6'7", he wants to stay in Texas because he's found himself and he has this new life in Texas now. Child, I was just like, what the heck? So they worked out something, right, for her to move back to Georgia and he stay in Texas and continue to pay the rent on wherever they live. When I say she lost everything, she lost everything. So now you in Texas with this man that you barely know, that you met not even a year ago, that you done moved 1,000 miles to Texas with. You don't have a job. You don't have no money. He don't have no money. Y'all not together. Y'all just coexisting. You don't have nothing. It's nothing that you can do. Okay, go to part 3, y'all. I'm not trying to make these too long. That's gonna be the last part. Okay, y'all, this part 3, the last part, because I gotta go. So thankfully, my friend, and 6'7" was able to come to an agreement that he was gonna stay in the apartment and she was going to take her name off the lease and move back to Atlanta. She packed what little that she had. I think her dad or somebody had to help her move back to Atlanta because she didn't have any money or anything. Now, I'm not sure what she did with her cars. Maybe she still had one of her cars. And I think she sold the other one maybe for some money. I can't really remember because it's been a while. But long story short, she was able to go back to Atlanta. And so she moved back to Atlanta. She had to start completely over. I think she was living like in her dad's basement until she could get a job and get back on her feet and start everything over. Now, here's what got me, right? Because I'm like, okay, you back in Atlanta. And she was kind of reaching out to me like, oh, I want to possibly, we can go out for coffee or something and kind of revive our friendship. And I'm kind of like, So we never made it to coffee, and I'm about to tell y'all why. This girl got the nerve to tell me, basically we was talking about her getting back on her feet or whatever, right? So this probably a month or two maybe after she's moved back to Georgia. She like, yeah, I've been looking for a job. Yeah, I'm staying with my dad in his basement, but this is not gonna last too long. She proceeds to say, yeah, my man told me that I can come stay with him maybe until I get on my feet. I said, your man? I kid you not, y'all. The last text message I ever sent that girl said, oh wow, new man already? I think I blocked her or I just did not respond to her. I was just like, oh yeah, you gotta go. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Quit playing. Quit playing. What do you mean you have a new man already? She had met a new man either on a dating site or it was a man that she had already knew that was on a dating site. What do you mean you got a new man? I was so just I was outdone. I was just like, yeah, it's no room on God's green earth for us to ever have a friendship. You went through all of that just dealing with a man. You trying to tell me that you can't be by yourself for 2.5 seconds before you hop into another situation? She is the definition, y'all, of male-centered, and you have to be so careful when dealing with male-centered women because they be the type of women that will do anything for a man. Those murder shows that you see that be like For My Man, where women be crashing out and unaliving people over men, those be those types of females. And you don't want that type of female around you because they are dangerous and scary. What do you mean you have a man already? Are you cool? So yeah, y'all, long story short, I never responded to her after that message. She might have said something to me after that. I can't really remember, but she wasn't even a bad person. Like, she was a cool girl. You know what I'm saying? She was a cool chick. It's just, I try not to get too involved in my friends' love lives because at the end of the day, it's your life. But I don't even want that type of mentality attached to me because they say birds of a feather flock together, and I promise you, we was not birds of the same kind. I'm not a bird at all.